Imagine yourself in a Viking longhouse, in a small settlement along Norway's craggy coast. Around the year 850, the air is thick with the scent of smoke and damp wool, and the world outside is cloaked in the half-light of a winter dawn. The longhouse has no windows, only a small smoke hole in the thatched roof, and the fire in the central hearth casts a flickering glow across the packed earth floor. The walls, made of upright logs and insulated with sod, are cool to the touch, and the air carries a faint chill despite the fire's efforts. You're lying on a wooden bench along the wall, wrapped in a heavy blanket of woven wool, its fibers scratching against your skin. The hall, perhaps 20 meters long and 6 meters wide, is home to a dozen people or more. Benches line the walls, serving as beds by night and seats by day, while looms, tools, and storage chests crowd the corners. Every task is shared, and every sound is heard: the creak of a loom, the laughter of a child, the lowing of a cow. Your meals are simple porridge, boiled fish, or bread baked on a flat stone by the fire. In the evenings, when the day's work is done, you gather around the hearth, the fire casting a golden glow. Your father carves a bone comb, its surface etched with simple runes, while your grandmother tells stories of Odin and Thor, her voice low and steady. The longhouse is quiet now, save for the soft breathing of your family and the occasional bleat from the livestock. The darkness wraps around you, heavy and familiar, and you know that tomorrow will bring the same rhythm of toil and survival. This is the life of the longhouse, a life where every moment is earned, where community and hardship are two sides of the same coin. These tales, passed down through generations, are as much a part of the longhouse as its walls, binding you to your kin and your gods. You listen, your eyelids growing heavy as the wind howls outside, rattling the turf roof. Occasionally, there's cheese or dried mutton, but fresh meat is rare in winter, and the stores in the wooden chests must last until spring. The longhouse is a place of constant struggle, where every task, from fetching water to repairing a wall, demands your strength and patience. Sickness is a quiet threat. Colds and fevers spread quickly in the close quarters, and a simple cut could fester without proper care. The Norse remedies, a mix of herbs and charms, offer some relief, but the god's will is often invoked when hope runs thin. You help your mother stir a pot of stew, the aroma of herbs and fish rising in the steam, and you notice how she measures each handful of barley with care. Hunger is a shadow that lingers just beyond the firelight, and a poor harvest or a harsh storm could tip the balance toward want. You're never alone, and this closeness is both a comfort and a burden, for disputes flare easily in such tight quarters, and the long winter months test even the strongest bonds. Let us turn now to one such figure, a man whose legend blurs the line between truth and myth, Ragnar Lothbrok, whose saga of raids and ambition awaits us. Beside you, your family stirs, your parents, siblings, perhaps an elderly grandparent, sharing this single communal space. You step outside, the wind biting your face, and head to the woodpile, your boots sinking into the frost-crusted ground. The sky is a pale gray, and the fjord beyond the settlement glitters like polished iron. You gather an armful of logs, their bark rough against your arms, and return to the longhouse, where the warmth greets you like an old friend. But there's no time to linger. There's wool to card, grain to grind, and nets to mend for the fishing boats. This is your home, a long, narrow hall of timber and turf, shared with your family, your kin, and even your livestock. In summer, you'd be in the fields, sowing barley or tending flax, your back aching under the sun. But now, in winter, the work shifts indoors. You sit by the loom, helping your sister weave cloth, the shuttle sliding through the warp with a soft thud. The wool is coarse, dyed with madder root or woad, and your fingers grow stiff from the repetitive motion. Every piece of cloth is precious, for it will become clothing, sails, or trade goods, and the longhouse hums with the quiet industry of survival. Life here is a constant rhythm of labor, warmth, and survival. And it's a life where you would find little rest, even in the quiet moments. You kneel by the hearth, the stones warm under your hands, and carefully add logs from a nearby pile. The embers flare, sending sparks upward, and you blow gently to coax the flames. The fire is the heart of the longhouse, cooking your meals, warming your bones, and keeping the darkness at bay. But it demands constant attention, for a dead fire means a cold, hungry day. As you work, your mother begins preparing porridge, grinding barley with a stone corn, its rhythmic scrape blending with the soft murmurs of waking kin. As you open your eyes, the first thing you notice is the darkness. Your day begins before the sun rises, for there's work to be done, and the rhythm of the longhouse waits for no one. You swing your legs over the bench, your bare feet meeting the cold earth floor, and pull on a tunic of rough linen and a woolen cloak. The livestock at the far end of the hall, a few cows, sheep, and a goat shuffle and low, their breath adding a musky warmth to the air. Their presence is vital, for they provide milk, wool, and meat, but their smell mingles with the smoke and the faint tang of yesterday's stew, creating a heavy, ever-present atmosphere. Your first task is to tend the fire, a duty that falls to you today. Life in the longhouse is crowded, and privacy is a luxury you don't know. Your mornings are filled with chores, each one a small battle against the elements. As a farmer, your family depends on the land, and the land is unforgiving. Food is another constant concern, and the longhouse is a place of careful rationing. The longhouse is not without its moments of warmth, though they are hard-won. But life here is relentless, and even these moments are fleeting. As you lie on your bench at night, the fire reduced to glowing coals, you feel the weight of the day settle into your bones. Pause, soft crackle of fire fades. And yet, not all Norse lives were bound to the land. Some ventured beyond the fjords, their names carved into the sagas of history. Ambient sounds transition to faint lapping of waves, suggesting a shift to the sea. As the firelight of the longhouse fades, imagine yourself standing on the rocky shore of a Norse fjord, the air sharp with the scent of salt and pine, the horizon veiled in mist. The year is 850, and the Viking Age pulses with the rhythm of exploration, ambition, and survival. Among the figures who stride through this world, one name echoes through the sagas, a name that carries the weight of both history and myth. Ragnar Lothbrok. He is a warrior, a raider, a king whose life is as restless as the sea itself. Tonight, we trace his saga, not with the clamor of swords or the roar of battle, but with the quiet cadence of a tale told by firelight, a story to cradle you in the Norse world as you drift towards sleep. Picture a young Ragnar growing up in the rolling hills of Denmark, or perhaps southern Norway, for the sagas weave a tangled web around his origins. The Gesta Danorum, a chronicle from centuries later, calls him a farmer's son, his hands calloused from the plow, yet marked by a spark of destiny, as if the gods themselves had set him apart. Imagine him as a boy, his hair wild and unbraided, running through fields of barley, the wind carrying the tang of the nearby sea. His father, perhaps a minor chieftain, teaches him the ways of the Norse, how to wield a spear, how to read the stars, how to listen to the sagas that bind his people. These early years are a quiet forging, each lesson a step toward the man he will become. You see him practicing with a wooden shield, his arms straining, his laughter mingling with the cries of gulls overhead. As a youth, Ragnar learns the art of the sea, a skill as vital as breathing in the Norse world. Imagine him aboard a small boat, its timbers creaking under the swell, his hands gripping the oars as his father points to the horizon. The sagas say he was bold even then, eager to prove himself, his eyes fixed on tales of distant lands, Francia, England, realms of wealth and weakness. His training is not just physical, but mental, for a Viking leader must be cunning, a weaver of plans as intricate as the knots in a ship's rigging. These moments, though unrecorded, are the roots of his legend, the quiet years before the world knew his name. Ragnar's first raids, the sagas tell us, are modest, the work of a young man testing his mettle. Picture him gathering a small crew, their long ship's prow carved with a serpent's head, its hull slicing through the morning mist. The year is uncertain, perhaps the early 840s, and their target is a coastal village, its thatched roofs barely visible in the dawn. The raid is swift, a blur of movement shields raised, voices low, the villagers scattering before the Norse advance. The haul is small, a few sacks of grain, a silver brooch, but for Ragnar, it is a beginning, a taste of the life he craves. You see him standing on the shore, his cloak damp with spray, his heart pounding with the rhythm of possibility. His ambition soon carries him to greater ventures, to the rich lands of the Franks, where monasteries gleam with gold. Imagine Ragnar at the helm of a larger fleet, the year perhaps 805, his ships gliding up the Seine toward Paris. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, though written far away, speaks of a great heathen army in Frankish lands. And while names blur in the fog of history, Ragnar's shadow looms large. The city's walls, built of stone, are no match for Viking cunning. His men move like wraiths, their boots silent on the riverbank, their axes catching the first light. The raid is not a clash of armies, but a calculated strike, targeting sacred relics and silver hoards. The Franks, unprepared, offer tribute a chest of coins, heavy enough to bow the shoulders of those who carry it. Ragnar accepts, his fingers tracing the cold metal, his mind already turning to the next horizon. This triumph marks his rise, a farmer's son, now a warlord, his name whispered in both fear and awe. But ambition is a restless companion, and Ragnar's path is one of constant motion. Picture him sailing to England, the North Sea stretching gray and endless before him. The sagas speak of raids on Northumbria, a land of moors and monasteries, where the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms lie divided. One tale, perhaps embellished by skalds, tells of Ragnar's cunning, his men disguised as pilgrims, their weapons hidden beneath cloaks. Slipping into a fortified town, the raid succeeds, but the cost is heavy lives are lost, the earth marked by the consequences of greed and glory. Yet Ragnar presses on, his fleet growing, his reputation swelling like a tide. The sagas, shaped by the voices of skalds, are more than history, they are the heartbeat of Norse culture. Imagine a feasting hall, its timbers blackened by smoke, where a skald stands, his voice rising and falling like the sea. He sings of Ragnar, weaving tales of raids and cunning, his words carried by the rhythm of a lyre. These poets, keepers of memory, shape Ragnar's legend, blending truth with flourish. A victory becomes a gift from Odin, a defeat, a test of resolve. The Ragnar Sona, a later saga, builds his myth, and you can picture the listeners, their eyes bright in the firelight, hanging on every verse. This oral tradition, as vital as the Longhouse itself, ensures Ragnar's name endures, a story to warm the long winter nights. But Ragnar's rise is not without rivals, for the Norse world is one of shifting alliances and bitter feuds. Imagine him facing a chieftain, perhaps Harald, a man of equal ambition, his hall rivaling Ragnar's own. The sagas hint at such conflicts, though names are uncertain. Picture a meeting on neutral ground, a windswept hill where words are as sharp as blades. Ragnar negotiates, his voice calm but firm, offering trade or marriage to secure peace. But his hand never strays far from his sword. These rivalries, though less storied than his raids, shape his path, forcing him to balance diplomacy with strength. You see him pacing his hall, the fire casting shadows, his mind weighing the cost of every choice. The sagas pause to glimpse his personal life, a rare window into the man behind the warrior. Picture him returning to a Danish settlement, its longhouses clustered by a fjord, where his wife, Lagortha, awaits. The Gesta Danorum paints her as a shield maiden, her hair golden as the fields, her spirit as fierce as the storms. Their marriage is a partnership, but Ragnar's wanderlust strains it, and the sagas speak of separations, of Lagortha's pride, and of other wives, like Aslog, whose beauty is said to rival the gods. Imagine him by a hearth, his sons Ivar, Bjorn, Sigurd listening as he speaks of distant lands. These moments of quiet are fleeting, the seas call stronger than any bond, but they ground his legend in the rhythm of family and kin. Ragnar's ambition fuels the broader Viking age, a time when Norse sails dotted the seas from Byzantium to Ireland. His raids, real or mythical, inspire others, his name a spark that lights a fire of exploration. Picture a young warrior, inspired by Ragnar's tales, joining a fleet bound for the Volga, or a trader carrying amber to distant markets, all part of the expansion Ragnar's shadow helped shape. The annals of Ulster and Frankish records note the growing Viking presence, and while Ragnar himself may be a composite, his story reflects the era's restless spirit. You see his influence in the ships that sail, their prows cutting through the waves, carrying the Norse world outward. Archaeological traces offer faint echoes of his time, if not his life. Imagine a runestone, its surface carved with runes, standing by a Swedish river. Such stones, like the Rack runestone, speak of raids and heroes, their inscriptions hinting at men like Ragnar. In Denmark, earthworks at Dannevirke, strengthened in the 9th century, suggest a kingdom preparing for war, perhaps under a leader like him. These fragment stones, ramparts, hordes of hacked silver ground, the sagas, their silence as evocative as the tales. You picture a scholar brushing dirt from a coin, its surface stamped with a Frankish cross, a relic of the raids Ragnar might have led. His ambition, though, leads to hubris, and the sagas warn of its price. Picture Ragnar planning a great raid on Northumbria, his fleet larger than ever, his heart set on outshining his own legend. The year is perhaps the 860s, and he seeks to conquer where others faltered. His ships cross the North Sea, their sails taut, their hulls heavy with warriors. But fate betrays him. King Aela of Northumbria, prepared waits on the cliffs, his forces outnumbering the Norse. The battle, if it happened, is a shadow in the records. But the sagas are clear. Ragnar's army scatters, and he is captured, his hands bound, his pride unbroken. His death, we tell softly, is the stuff of legend, a tale to lull rather than stir. The sagas claim Alala cast him into a pit of snakes, a punishment as cruel as it is poetic. Picture Ragnar in the dark, the hiss of serpents rising, his voice steady as he sings a death song, defiant to the last. The piglets will grunt when they hear how the old boar suffered. He declares a vow that his sons will avenge him. The scene is grim, yet the sagas dwell not on suffering, but on resolve. His life fading into the earth as his legend takes root. We speak of it gently, the darkness, a metaphor for rest, the snakes, a whisper of eternity. Whether this tale is true, we cannot say. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle records Viking raids, but no single Ragnar emerges. Some see him as a blend of leaders, his story shaped by skalds to inspire and caution. Others point to runstones, to tales of sons like Ivar the Boneless, suggesting a kernel of truth. What endures is the saga, a story of a man who sailed beyond the known, whose ambition lit a fire through generations. His sons, the sagas say, carried his vengeance to England, their great army a shadow of their father's will, their deeds a continuation of his restless spirit. As you lie back, the sound of waves fading. Imagine Ragnar's longship slipping into the mist, its prow cutting through the sea toward eternity. His life, real or woven, is a thread in the Norse tapestry, a testament to the rhythm of ambition and loss. But not all Viking stories are of raids and kings. Some are buried beneath the earth, their secrets as quiet as a winter night, waiting to be uncovered. Let us turn now to one such mystery, a ship entombed with two women, its timbers holding secrets we may never fully know. The Oseberg ship burial, a puzzle of the Viking world. As the echo of Ragnar's saga fades, carried away on the sea's restless tide, imagine yourself standing on a gentle slope in Vestfold, Norway, where the earth rises in a low, grassy mound. The year is 1904, but the story we uncover tonight reaches back to the 9th century, to a time when the Norse buried their dead with care and ceremony, their rituals woven into the fabric of their world. Beneath this mound lies the Oseberg ship, a Viking masterpiece, its timbers cradling the remains of two women and a mystery that lingers like mist over a fjord. Tonight, we explore this enigma, not with haste or clamor, but with the quiet curiosity of those who seek to understand the past. Let the rhythm of this tale settle over you, as soothing as a lullaby, as we unravel the secrets of the Oseberg ship burial. Picture the moment of discovery, when farmers, digging into the mound, felt their shovels strike something solid. The earth gave way to reveal a ship, its oak planks darkened by centuries, its prow curling upward like a serpent's head. This was no ordinary find, for the Oseberg ship, built around 820 and buried around 834, was a vessel of extraordinary craft. Its clinker-built hull, each plank overlapping the next, stretched over 21 meters, designed to glide through coastal waters with the grace of a seabird. Preserved by the claridge soil, it emerged as a time capsule, its timbers still bearing the marks of axes and ages. As you imagine, standing beside the archaeologists, the air cool and damp, you sense the weight of history in every splinter, a story waiting to be told. At the heart of the ship lies its greatest puzzle. The two women interred within a wooden chamber, their lives and identities lost to time. Picture the chamber, a small, enclosed space at the ship's center, its walls lined with woven mats. Here, the women were laid on beds of down and wool, their bodies adorned with simple tunics, their hands perhaps clasped in eternal rest. One was older, perhaps in her 50s, her bones marked by arthritis, suggesting a life of some ease, her diet rich and meaty, a sign of status. The other, younger, in her 20s or 30s, remains even more elusive, her skeleton less studied, her story a shadow beside her companion. Who were they, and why were they honored with such a burial? The question hangs in the air, as soft and persistent as the wind over the mound. The grave goods surrounding them offer clues, each item a whisper from the Viking world. Imagine running your fingers over a carved wooden cart, its wheels sturdy, its panels etched with swirling beasts, perhaps used in a funeral procession or destined for the afterlife. Nearby, stacks of textiles, tapestries, blankets, and clothing lie folded, their colors faded, but their patterns intricate, some woven with threads from distant lands. There are tools for weaving, a loom's weights, and a spindle, suggesting the women's role in crafting cloth, a vital art in Norse life. A bucket holds wild apples, their tart scent long gone, a possible offering for a journey beyond the grave. And scattered throughout, the remains of sacrificed animals, 15 horses, for dogs hint at a ritual of great significance, their lives given to honor the dead. The burial itself was a ceremony, a moment when the Norse community came together to send these women to the next world. Picture the ship dragged ashore, its hull settled on a bed of stones, the chamber built with care. The women were placed inside, their possessions arranged around them, and then the ship was sealed, the mound heaped over it like a blanket of earth. The sagas and archaeological parallels suggest such burials were not mere farewells, but journeys. The ship a vessel to carry the dead to realms unknown, perhaps hell, the quiet underworld, or a place among ancestors. Some items, like oars, were deliberately broken, perhaps to keep the ship in the realm of the dead, a final act of separation. The scene is solemn, the air heavy with chants and the scent of burning herbs, a ritual as much for the living as for those who had passed. The archaeologists who uncovered the ship faced their own challenges, their tools less precise than those of today. The excavation, begun in 1904, preserved the ship's timbers, but lost some subtlety soil layers that might have told more bones too fragile to yield clear answers. Modern science has added pieces to the puzzle. Carbon dating confirms the burial's date. Textile analysis reveals trade links to Persia, and bone studies hint at the older woman's privileged life. Yet DNA tests, hampered by degraded samples, offer no clear lineage, and the sagas, written centuries later, are silent on these women. The poetic Edda speaks of seeresses and queens, but no name matches this grave, leaving us to piece together the story from fragments. Scholars offer theories, each a thread in the tapestry of possibility. Some see the older woman as a queen, perhaps tied to the Yngling dynasty, a ruler whose death demanded such splendor. The younger woman, her servant, sacrificed to serve in the afterlife. Others propose a vulva, a seeress skilled in cider magic, her staff-like artifacts and ritual goods pointing to a spiritual role. The tapestries, with their cryptic scenes of processions and trees, might depict her visions, a glimpse into Norse cosmology. Or perhaps they were kin, a mother and daughter, or allies, buried to cement a political bond. The truth eludes us, and in its absence, the mystery deepens, a quiet invitation to wonder as you rest. The Oseberg burial reflects the Norse fascination with death, a belief that life continued beyond the grave, in realms of shadow or glory. The ship, with its curling prow, was more than a tomb, it was a symbol of passage, a bridge to the unseen. Other Viking burials, like the Gokstad ship or the Russ funeral described by Ibn Fadlan, echo this idea. Their dead equipped for a journey. The horses and dogs, the cart and tools, suggest a world where the afterlife mirrored the living, where status and purpose endured. As you imagine the mound sealed, the community dispersing into the twilight, you feel the weight of their beliefs, their lives bound to the cycle of earth and sky. Today, the Oseberg ship rests in Oslo's Viking Ship Museum, its timbers polished, its carvings sharp under soft lights. Visitors walk its length, marveling at its craft, but the women remain voiceless, their story a whisper in the wood. The burial has shaped our understanding of the Vikings, revealing their art, their trade, and their reverence for the dead. Yet it also reminds us of history's limits, the questions that linger like stars, half hidden by clouds. As you lie back, the mound fading into the darkness, let the mystery of the Oseberg ship settle over you, a quiet enigma to carry you toward sleep. But not all Norse lives were shrouded in mystery. Some lived in halls of power, their days shaped by wealth and duty, yet no less demanding than those of the Longhouse. Let us step now into the world of a Viking Jarl, where luxury and responsibility walked hand in hand. Ambient sounds, faint clink of metal, soft murmur of a feasting hall, occasional strum of a lyre. As the mystery of the Oseberg ship fades into the quiet earth, imagine yourself stepping across a threshold from the windswept mounds of Vestfold to the heart of a Norse settlement, where a grand hall rises against the twilight sky. The year is 860, and you are no longer a farmer toiling in the smoky confines of a longhouse, nor a raider sailing with Ragnar's fleet. Tonight, this is a world of feasting, loyalty, and unrelenting duty, where luxury and responsibility are bound together like the strands of a braided cord. Let us settle by the fire, the air warm with the scent of mead, and explore the rhythm of a Jarl's life, a tale to carry you gently through the Norse world as you rest. Picture your hall, a grand structure twice the length of a common longhouse. Its walls of oak polished to a dark sheen, its roof thatched with thick turf to keep out the winter's bite. The air inside is heavy with the aroma of roasting meat and burning pine, and a central hearth, longer than a man's height, casts a golden glow across the packed earth floor. You sit on a high seat, a wooden chair carved with runes and serpents, its arms worn smooth by your hands. Your cloak, fastened with a silver brooch, is woven from the finest wool, dyed deep blue with woad, and beneath it, your tunic is embroidered with threads of crimson, a mark of your status. The hall is alive with the murmur of your household warriors, advisors, servants, and kinall gathered under your roof, their loyalty the foundation of your power. Your day begins not with the dawn's labor, but with the weight of decisions. Imagine rising from a bed draped with furs, the pelts soft against your skin, and stepping into the hall where a servant offers you a horn of warmed mead, its honeyed sweetness lingering on your tongue. Your first task is to hear the concerns of your people, for a jarl is not just a leader, but a judge, a keeper of order. You sit in your high seat, the fire crackling as a farmer approaches, his voice low, speaking of a boundary dispute with a neighbor. You listen, your expression calm, weighing his words against the laws carved in memory, laws passed down through generations. Your judgment, perhaps a division of the land or a fine in silver, must satisfy both parties, for unrest in your settlement is a crack in your authority. The hall is the heart of your world, a place of both governance and generosity. Picture the long tables laden with wooden platters of boiled mutton, flatbreads, and cheese, the air rich with the scent of herbs and grease. As a jarl, you host feasts to bind your warriors to you, their oaths sworn over brimming horns. You raise your own, the mead catching the firelight, and offer a toast to Odin, your voice steady, the hall echoing with approval. These moments of splendor are deliberate, for your wealth, silver arm rings, amber beads, furs from the north is not hoarded but shared, a display of power that secures loyalty. Yet the cost is ever present, for your stores of grain and livestock must be carefully managed, and a lean year could dim the hall's glow. Your household is a tapestry of roles, each thread essential to your rule. Imagine your wife, a woman of sharp intellect, managing the hall's stores, her keys jangling at her belt as she oversees the brewing of ale and the weaving of cloth. She is your partner, her counsel sought in private, her presence commanding respect at feasts. Your warriors, their beards braided and their cloaks pinned with iron, are your strength, their axes hung by the door, ready for your call. Servants move quietly, tending the fire, sweeping the floor, their lives bound to yours by necessity or debt. And your children, learning the ways of leadership, watch from the benches, their futures tied to your legacy. This household, though grand, is no less communal than the Longhouse, its rhythm one of interdependence. Your wealth comes from land, trade, and tribute, but it is never secure. Picture yourself inspecting a chest of hacked silver coins and jewelry from distant lands, their edges notched to test their purity. Your lands, worked by tenant farmers, yield barley, flax, and wool, but storms or blight could thin the harvest, and you feel the weight of their dependence. Trade brings rich as amber from the Baltic, furs from the forests, even silk from Byzantium, bartered in markets like Hidabi. You send men to trade on your behalf, their ships heavy with goods, but the sea is fickle, and a lost ship is a wound to your coffers. Tribute, too, comes from lesser chieftains, their silver a sign of allegiance, but their loyalty shifts like the tides, and you must watch for whispers of betrayal. Your role as a warlord shapes your days, for power is held by the sword as much as by silver. Imagine donning a chainmail shirt, its links cold against your chest, as you lead your warriors to settle a feud with a rival jarl. The conflict is small, a raid on your outlying farms, but it cannot go unanswered. You ride out, the air sharp with frost, your horse's breath steaming in the dawn. The skirmish, when it comes, is brief. Shields clash, voices shout, and lives are lost, their absence a shadow over the victory. You return to the hall, the fire warm, but the weight of leadership lingers, for every decision risks your men's lives and your own. We speak of this softly, the cost of power, a quiet truth, the earth claiming its due without fanfare. Your duties extend to the gods, for a jarl is a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Picture a festival at winter's end, the hall adorned with evergreen boughs, their resinous scent mingling with smoke. You lead a sacrifice, perhaps a horse, its life offered to Thor for a bountiful spring. The ritual is solemn, the community gather, their voices rising in a chant that echoes through the fjord. You pour mead onto the earth, its sweetness a gift to the spirits, and feel the weight of their expectations, for a jarl's success is tied to the gods' favor. These moments, though grand, are fleeting, and the hall soon returns to its daily rhythm, the fire burning low. The luxury of your life is undeniable, yet it is not without strain. Imagine lying in your bed, the furs heavy, the hall quiet, save for the crackle of embers. Your wealth sets you apart, but your duties bind you to your people, their survival resting on your choices. The hall, for all its splendor, is a fragile thing, its warmth a bulwark against the chaos beyond. Sickness, rebellion, or a rival's ambition could unravel your world, and you carry this knowledge like a stone in your chest. The life of a Jarl is one of balance, where every feast, every judgment, every sacrifice is a step in a dance you cannot falter. As you settle back, the hall's glow fading, feel the rhythm of this life, a life of power, yes, but also of unrelenting care. The Jarl's world is one of contrasts, where wealth and duty, splendor and struggle are woven together, as enduring as the timbers that hold the hall aloft. But beyond the hall's firelight lies another marvel, a craft that carried the Norse across seas and into legend, the art of their ships, a story of ingenuity waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the shipwright's craft, where wood and skill shaped the longships that defined the Viking Age, a tale of quiet mastery to guide you deeper into rest. As the glow of the Jarl's Hall fades, its firelight giving way to the cool air of a Norse morning, imagine yourself standing by the edge of a fjord where the water mirrors the slate-gray sky. The year is 850, and before you lies a half-finished longship, its skeleton of oak ribs rising from a keel like the bones of some great beast. The scent of fresh-cut timber and tar hangs in the air, mingling with the salt of the sea. This is the world of the Viking shipwright, a craftsman whose skill turned trees into vessels that carried the Norse across oceans, from the rivers of Francia to the shores of distant Vinland. Tonight, we explore the art of Norse shipbuilding, a quiet marvel of ingenuity and patience, a story to weave through your thoughts as you drift toward sleep, its rhythm as steady as the tides. Picture the shipyard, a clearing by the water's edge, where the ground is littered with wood shavings, their curls catching the breeze. The longship taking shape is no ordinary boat, but a masterpiece of design, built to dance with the waves and withstand the fury of storms. The process begins with the keel, the ship's backbone, a single oak trunk hewn straight and true, its grain chosen for strength. Imagine the shipwright, his hands rough from years of labor, running his fingers along the wood, feeling for knots or flaws. He works with an adze, its blade flashing in the sunlight, shaving the keel to a precise curve, each stroke a testament to his craft. The keel, once laid, is the foundation, anchoring the ship's form, its length perhaps 20 meters, dictating a vessel fit for raids or trade. The choice of wood is a ritual in itself, a bond between the Norse and their land. Oak, strong and resilient, forms the keel and ribs, its heartwood dense enough to endure the sea's relentless pull. For the planks, the shipwright seeks pine or ash, trees felled in winter when the sap is low, their fibers pliable yet tough. Imagine the forest, its air cool and damp, where axes ring out, their echoes swallowed by the trees. The shipwright selects each trunk with care, his knowledge passed down through generations, a silent conversation with the land. Some sagas speak of trees chosen under a full moon, their wood blessed for strength, though such tales are more poetry than practice. The wood, once cut, is hauled to the shipyard, its weight a burden shared by men and oxen, the path worn smooth by years of such journeys. The ship's hull takes shape through a method the Norse perfected, known as clinker building. Picture the shipwright fitting planks to the keel, each board overlapping the one below, like shingles on a roof. He drills holes with an auger, its iron bit biting into the wood, and fastens the planks with iron rivets, their heads hammered flat. The seams are caulked with tarred wool, a sticky, pungent mass pressed into the gaps to keep the sea at bay. You can almost feel the texture of the wool, its fibers course under your fingers, and smell the sharp tang of pine tar warmed by the sun. This construction, light yet strong, allows the ship to flex with the waves, a living thing that bends rather than breaks, its hull as supple as a fish in the current. The ribs, or frames, are added next, lashed to the planks with spruce roots, their tensile strength, a marvel of nature. Imagine the shipwright weaving these roots, his hands deft, his movements as rhythmic as a weaver at a loom. The ribs give the ship its shape, wide at the center for stability, tapered at the ends for speed. The prow, carved into a curling spiral or a serpent's head, is both art and symbol, a ward against spirits and a mark of the ship's purpose. You see the carver at work, his knife tracing intricate knots, the wood chips falling like snow, each cut a prayer for safe voyages. The stern mirrors the prow, ensuring the ship can maneuver in any direction, a design born of necessity in the fjord's narrow waters. The shipwright's tools are simple but precise, each one an extension of his skill. Picture a workbench littered with adzes, augers, and chisels, their handles worn smooth by countless hands. A drachma, its blade gleaming, shaves planks to a feather's thickness, while a mallet and wedge split logs with a satisfying crack. The shipwright works by eye and touch, his measurements guided by experience rather than plans, a knowledge as deep as the roots of the trees he fells. The sagas rarely speak of these craftsmen, yet their legacy sails in every longship, their labor the silent pulse of the Viking Age. You can almost hear the steady tap of hammer on rivet, a rhythm that lulls like the rocking of waves. The ship's fittings are as crucial as its hull, each piece crafted with care. Imagine the mast, a tall pine trunk stepped into a socket at the ship's center, its base reinforced with a kelson. The sail, woven from wool and dyed with ochre, is hoisted on a yardarm, its fabric catching the wind with a soft snap. Oars, each carved from a single piece of ash, line the ship's sides, their blades polished by use. The shipwright tests each one, his hands gripping the wood, ensuring balance and strength. A rudder, fixed to the starboard side, allows the helmsman to steer, its pivot a marvel of simplicity. These elements, though unassuming, make the ship a vessel of exploration, capable of crossing seas or navigating rivers, its versatility the key to Viking ambition. The cultural significance of ships runs deep in Norse life, their forms etched into art and myth. Picture a runestone, its surface carved with a ship's silhouette, its sails billowing in stone. The poetic Edda speaks of Nagafar, a ship of the gods, built from the nails of the dead, a symbol of cosmic journeys. For the Norse, ships were more than tools, they were lifelines, connecting settlements, carrying trade, and bearing warriors to glory or doom. The shipwright, though rarely named, was a figure of respect, his craft a bridge between earth and sea, mortal and divine. You see him pausing at dusk, his tools laid aside, the half-finished ship glowing in the fading light, a promise of voyages to come. The labor of shipbuilding is not without its toll, though we speak of it softly. as a quiet truth. Imagine the shipwright's hands, scarred from splinters, his back stooped from years of bending over keels. The work is grueling, the cold of winter seeping into his bones, the heat of summer heavy on his brow. Accidents, though rare, leave their mark. A slipped adze, a crushed finger, the pain born in silence. The sagas do not dwell on such things, nor do we, but the shipwright's endurance is part of his craft, his life woven into the ships he builds. The forest, too, feels the cost, its trees felled to feed the demand. Though the Norse replant with care, their bond with the land unbroken. When the ship is complete, it is launched with quiet ceremony, a moment of pride for the shipwright and the community. Picture the long ship sliding into the fjord, its hull kissing the water. The crowd gathered on the shore, their voices low with murmurs of approval. The shipwright watches, his face lined but calm, as the vessel rocks gently, its prow pointed to the horizon. This ship, one of many, will carry warriors to raid, traders to market, or explorers to unknown shores, its timbers bearing the weight of Norse dreams. The sagas may sing of heroes, but the shipwright's art is the foundation, a silent legacy that sails through time. As you lie back, the sound of hammer and wave fading, feel the rhythm of this crafter, rhythm of patience, skill, and connection to the sea. The longship, born of wood and will, is a testament to the Norse spirit, a vessel that carried a people into history. But the Norse world was not only one of ships and raids, it was also a world of laws, where disputes were settled not with swords, but with words, in the gathering known as the Thing. Let us turn now to the laws of the Viking Age, where the Thing brought order to a restless people, a story of justice to guide you deeper into rest. As the creak of the shipwright's hammer fades, carried away on the fjord's gentle breeze, imagine yourself walking across a rolling meadow, the air cool and crisp, the sky a pale expanse above. The year is 860, and you're in a Norse settlement where a low hill rises, its slopes worn smooth by generations of footsteps. This is the site of the Thing, the Viking assembly, where laws are spoken, disputes settled, and the community bound by words rather than swords. Tonight, we step into the world of Viking law, a quiet tapestry of custom and consensus, where the rhythm of justice shapes lives as surely as the seasons. Let this story unfold softly, its cadence like a lullaby, guiding you deeper into the Norse world as you rest. Picture the Thing in session, a gathering of free men and sometimes women from the surrounding farms and villages. The hill is alive with movement, but not chaos. There's a deliberate order to the crowd, their cloaks of wool and fur catching the morning light. Tents and booths dot the landscape, their canvas flapping gently, offering shade and ale for those who've traveled far. The air carries the scent of damp grass, wood smoke, and roasted fish, mingling with the low hum of voices, some bartering, others debating, all bound by the purpose of the assembly. You stand among them, your boots sinking into the earth, feeling the weight of tradition in this open-air court where the Norse resolve their conflicts and affirm their bonds. The Thing is not a daily event, but a seasonal one, held in spring or summer, when paths are clear and fjords calm. Imagine the law speaker, a man of memory and authority, standing on a flat stone at the hill's crest, his voice steady as he recites the laws. These are not written, but oral, passed down through generations, etched in the minds of the community. The laws cover land disputes, theft, marriage, and even murder. Their rules rooted in custom rather than divine decree. The law speaker's role is sacred. His words, a thread connecting past to present, and you listen, the rhythm of his speech blending with the rustle of leaves, a sound as soothing as a stream. To understand the thing, let's imagine a dispute, a common matter that draws the crowd's attention. Picture two farmers, Olaf and Bjorn, standing before the law speaker, their faces lined with the strain of conflict. Olaf claims Bjorn's cattle strayed into his barley field, trampling the crop, a loss that could mean hunger in winter. Bjorn insists the fence was weak, the fault Olaf's own. The crowd murmurs, their breath visible in the cool air as witnesses step forward. A neighbor, Astrid, speaks of seeing the cattle wander, her voice clear but calm, her testimony weighed by her reputation. The law speaker listens, his hands clasped, his silence a signal for others to speak. This is the heart of the thing, a process where truth is sought through voices, not violence, though the threat of feud lingers like a shadow. The laws themselves are practical, designed to keep peace in a world where honor is fierce. Imagine the law speaker reciting the rule: for damaged crops, the guilty must pay in silver or grain, the amount set by the crop's value. If Bjorn is found at fault, he might offer a ring of hacked silver, its weight measured on a balanced scale, or a sack of barley, its grains spilling softly as it's handed over. If he refuses, the thing can declare him an outlaw, a fate as heavy as exile, his name struck from the community's trust. The process is slow, deliberate, each step a chance for tempers to cool, for kin to mediate, for balance to be restored. You feel the rhythm of this justice, its measured pace, a counterpoint to the Norse world's restlessness. The thing is more than a court. It's a social bond, a place where the Norse affirm their freedom and duty. Picture the crowd, not just men of wealth, but free farmers, their axes left at home, their voices equal in the law's eyes. Women, too, have a place, especially widows, or those managing estates, like Astrid, who might speak for her household. The sagas, such as S-saga, describe women at the thing, their words carrying weight, though their presence is rarer. You see the law speaker raise his hand, the crowd falling silent, their unity a quiet strength, as enduring as the hill itself. Not all disputes are simple, and some carry the weight of blood. Imagine a graver case, a man killed in a drunken brawl, his family demanding justice. The thing handles such matters with care, for feuds can tear settlements apart. The law allows for wergold, a payment to the victim's kin, its amount based on Statosa Freeman's life worth 200 ounces of silver, a thrall's far less. The killer's family might offer rings, cattle, or land, their wealth pooled to prevent exile or worse. If no agreement is reached, the thing may banish the guilty, their name a whisper of shame. We speak of this softly, the loss of life, a somber truth, its resolution a step toward healing, the earth left unstained by further strife. The thing's authority rests on consensus, not force, a balance that requires trust. Picture the law speaker mediating, his cloak pinned with a bronze brooch, his eyes scanning the crowd for dissent. He is chosen for wisdom, not wealth, his memory a living archive of precedent. The sagas tell of law speakers like Thorgerd, who bridged pagan and Christian laws, their role a pivot in Norse history. The thing is local, each region with its own, but the great Althing in Iceland, founded later, draws on this tradition, its gatherings a mirror of the ones you see now. The hill, the voices, the laws, they form a rhythm, a cadence that holds the Norse world together, as vital as the ships that sail its seas. The social structure of the thing reveals the Norse as a people of order, not chaos. Imagine the crowd dispersing at day's end, their disputes settled, their bonds renewed. Some linger to trade wool for iron, fish for amber, their booths a marketplace of goods and gossip. Others share ale, its bitterness warmed by the sun, their laughter a release after tense debates. The thing is a festival as much as a court, a time when isolated farms become a community, their lives interwoven like the threads of a tapestry. You feel this unity, standing on the hill, the grass soft underfoot, the horizon stretching wide, a reminder of the Norse spirit's resilience. Yet the thing is not without flaws, its justice imperfect. Picture a powerful jarl, his warriors at his side, swaying the crowd with gifts or threats. The sagas hint at such influence, where wealth could tip the scales, though the law speaker strives for fairness. Poorer men, with no king to speak for them, might struggle to be heard, their voices drowned by those of status. And women, though present, often rely on male kin to press their claims, their agency limited by custom. These tensions, though real, are resolved through talk, not blades, and the thing endures, a testament to the Norse belief in words as a path to peace. As the sun dips low, casting long shadows across the hill, imagine the law speaker stepping down, his role complete until the next gathering. The crowd thins, their footsteps fading, the tents folded away. The thing leaves no monument, no stone to mark its passing, but its laws live in the lives of those who depart. Their disputes settled, their community whole. This is the rhythm of Viking law, a quiet strength that binds a restless people, its echo as enduring as the earth itself. But the Norse world was not only one of laws and ships, it was a world of trade, where goods and dreams crossed seas and rivers, connecting distant lands. Let us journey now to the trade routes that stretched to Byzantium, a story of commerce to carry you deeper into rest. Slow river, its waters glinting under a pale summer sky. The year is 860, and you are a Varangian trader, a Viking merchant, preparing to embark on a journey that will carry you far from the fjords of Scandinavia. Before you lies a sturdy trading ship, its hull laden with amber, furs, and honey, bound for the distant markets of Byzantium, the glittering heart of the Eastern world. Tonight, we follow the trade routes that stretched across rivers and seas, a quiet web of commerce that bound the Norse to distant lands. Let this story unfold gently, its rhythm like the lapping of waves, guiding you deeper into the Viking world as you rest. Picture your ship, smaller than a warship, but no less crafted, its oak planks sealed with tar, its single sail furled against the mast. The riverbank is alive with activity, but not hastemen load barrels of wax, their surfaces smooth and golden, while others stack bundles of marten furs, their softness a contrast to the rough hemp ropes that bind them. The air carries the scent of pine resin and damp earth, mingling with the faint musk of the cargo. Your crew, a mix of kin and hired hands, moves with practiced ease, their voices low, their laughter softened by the morning mist. This is the beginning of a journey that will test your patience and cunning, a voyage measured not in battles, but in the weight of goods and the trust of distant markets. Imagine setting out from a Swedish trading post, perhaps Birka, where the Baltic Sea meets the rivers of the east. Your ship glides into the Gulf of Finland, its waters calm, the horizon a blur of green and gray. From there, you enter the Neva River, its current gentle, guiding you to Lake Ladoga, a vast expanse that shimmers like polished silver. The rivers are the arteries of Viking trade, their waters linking north to south. Picture the Volkhov River, its banks lined with birch and pine, leading you to Novgorod, a bustling hub where Norse traders meet Slavic merchants. Here, you pause to barter, your amber beads polished to a warm glow exchanged for beeswax or linen, their value set by quiet haggling. The market is a tapestry of sounds, the clink of silver dirhams, the murmur of voices in Norse and Slavic tongues, the soft thud of barrels rolled onto carts. You inspect a coin, its Arabic script a mark of distant Baghdad, its weight a reassurance in your palm. Novgorod is a place of connection, its wooden walkways slick with river mud, its air thick with the scent of smoked fish and fresh bread. From Novgorod, the journey grows arduous, for the rivers narrow and rapids loom. Imagine reaching the Dnieper, its waters swift, its banks steep and forested. Here, the ship must be hauled over land, a process called portage, where the crew becomes a team of laborers. You join them, your shoulders straining against the ropes, the ship's hull scraping over logs laid as rollers. The work is grueling, the sun warm on your back, the air heavy with the scent of crushed grass and sweat. Rapids, too, demand care. One wrong move could splinter the ship, scattering your cargo into the current. Yet, the crew perseveres, their hands blistered but steady, their bond forged by the shared weight of the journey. We speak of this toil softly, its hardship a quiet truth, the river's challenge met with patience rather than defiance. Picture a fortified outpost, its wooden palisades stark against the steppe, where you trade furs for salt, a commodity as precious as silver in the north. The locals, their cloaks adorned with bronze, eye your goods with calculation, their language unfamiliar but their intent clear. You negotiate through gestures and a few shared words, the exchange sealed with a nod and a handful of coins. The steppe is vast, its grasses swaying like an ocean, and you feel the immensity of the world. Your ship a small thread in a vast tapestry of commerce. At last, you reach the Black Sea, its waters darker, its waves stronger than the rivers you've known. Imagine sailing toward Constantinople, Byzantium's capital, its domes and walls rising like a vision from the sagas. The city, called Miklagard for its grandeur, is a marvel. Its markets crowded with silk, spices, and gold. Its streets alive with voices from every corner of the world. You dock at the harbor, the air thick with the scent of incense and fish, and step into the marketplace, your cargo now a treasure. Amber is prized here, its glow a symbol of the north, and your furs fetch a high price, their softness coveted by Byzantine nobles. In return, you acquire silk, its texture like water in your hands, and amphorae of wine, their clay cool to the touch. The trade is not without risk, for the journey tests both ship and spirit. Picture a storm on the Black Sea, the sky blackening, the waves tossing your ship like a leaf. You grip the rudder, your cloak soaked, the crew bailing water with wooden buckets. The storm passes, but the memory lingers, a reminder of the sea's power. On land, bandits or rival traders might ambush a portage, their arrows a whisper of danger. Losses, when they occur, are mourned, quietly goods scattered, lives claimed by river or blade, their absence a weight you carry home. We speak of this gently, the cost of trade, a shadow, not a spectacle, the journey's rhythm, unbroken by its trials. The goods you bring back transform the Norse world, their presence a mark of connection. Imagine returning to Burka, your ship heavy with silk and wine. Your crew weary, but proud. The silk is woven into tunics for jarls, its sheen a status beyond silver. The wine, poured at feasts, carries the taste of distant vineyards, its warmth a story in itself. These luxuries, though rare, ripple through the community, binding farmers and warriors to a wider world. The annals of St. Bertin note Viking traders in Frankish markets, and archaeological finds Byzantine coins, Persian glass confirm the reach of these roots, their traces as enduring as the rivers themselves. The trade routes to Byzantium are more than paths for goods. They are lifelines of culture and ambition. Picture a trader, perhaps you, sitting by a fire in Novgorod, sharing tales of Miklagard's golden domes with a Slavic merchant, your words mingling like the rivers you sail. These exchanges carry ideas, new tools, new gods, new ways of seeing the world. The Varangians, Norse traders turned guards in Byzantium, become legends, their axes sworn to the emperor. You feel this web of connection, standing on the riverbank, the water flowing south, a reminder that the Norse were not isolate, but woven into the world's great tapestry. As you lie back, the clatter of goods fading. Feel the rhythm of this journey, a rhythm of patience, exchange, and quiet endurance. The trade routes, like the rivers they follow, are the Norse world's pulse, carrying dreams and treasures across the earth. But the Norse were not only traders and lawmakers, they were healers. Their remedies, a blend of herb and mystery, a story of care waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the world of Norse healing and cider magic, where the body and spirit were tended with equal care, a tale to guide you deeper into rest. As the ripples of the river trade routes fade, carried away by the current of distant markets. Imagine yourself stepping into a quiet corner of a Norse settlement where the air is thick with the scent of dried herbs and burning resin. The year is 860, and you're in the presence of a healer, a figure revered and feared, whose hands work to mend both body and spirit. In the Viking world, healing is a delicate dance of practical remedies and mystical rites, where herbs and incantations intertwine like the roots of an ancient tree. Tonight, we explore the art of Norse healing and the enigmatic practice of cider magic, a story of care and mystery, its rhythm as gentle as a whispered prayer, guiding you deeper into the Norse world as you rest. Picture a small wooden hut, its walls hung with bundles of yarrow and chamomile, their earthy fragrance mingling with the smoke of a low fire. The healer, perhaps a woman named Frida, sits by the hearth, her hair streaked with gray, her fingers stained green from crushing leaves. She is no jarl or warrior, yet her role is vital, for sickness and injury are constant shadows in the Norse world. The hut is a sanctuary, its floor strewn with rushes, its air warm despite the chill outside. You sit across from her, the firelight casting shadows on her lined face as she prepares a poultice, her movements slow and deliberate, each gesture a part of the healing rhythm. Norse healing begins with the body, rooted in the knowledge of plants and their quiet power. Imagine Frida sorting through her stores, her hands brushing against dried nettle, its prickly leaves softened by time, or willow bark, its bitter scent a promise of relief. For fevers, she brews a tea of elderflower, its petals steeping in a clay pot, the steam rising like a delicate mist. For wounds, she applies a salve of honey and comfort, the honey's sweetness masking its antiseptic strength, the comfrey knitting flesh with subtle care. These remedies, passed down through generations, are drawn from the forests and meadows, their secrets guarded by healers like Frida, whose knowledge is as much art as science. You can almost taste the tea, its warmth spreading through you, a comfort in the flickering light. The tools of healing are simple, yet their use is precise. Picture a wooden mortar, its surface worn smooth, where Frida grinds herbs with a pestle, the soft scrape blending with the fire's crackle. A bone needle, threaded with sinew, stitches wounds with care, its point sharp but steady. 4 broken bones, she fashions splints from ashwood, their grain chosen for flexibility, bound with strips of linen. Archaeological finds, like those at Birka, reveal such tools: bronze tweezers, iron scalpels, testaments to the healer's craft. The sagas, though silent on many details, speak of women skilled in Liknishinder, the healing hand, their work a quiet thread in the Norse tapestry. You feel the weight of their care, the hut a haven where pain is met with patience. But healing is not only physical. The Norse see sickness as a matter of spirit as well as flesh. Imagine a child, pale and feverish, brought to Frida's hut, his mother's eyes heavy with worry. Frida examines him, her hands gentle, but she also listens to the mother's tale of a recent storm, a sign, perhaps, of angered spirits. In the Norse world, disease might stem from elves, land spirits, or a curse, their influence as real as a wound. Frida prepares a charm, a small pouch of mugwort and rohan berries, its contents tied with a red thread to ward off unseen forces. The chant is a lullaby, its cadence soothing, a bridge between the seen and unseen. This blend of herb and ritual leads us to cider, a form of Norse magic both revered and mistrusted. Picture Frida as a vulva, a seeress skilled in cider, her role extending beyond healing to the realm of prophecy and fate. Cider is a woman's art, though men practice it too, and it involves entering a trance to commune with spirits or glimpse the future. Imagine a ritual at the hut's edge, the community gathered under a starlit sky, their breath visible in the cold. Frida sits on a high seat, draped in a cloak adorned with beads, a staff in her hand, its tip carved with runes. A drum beats slowly, its rhythm like a heartbeat, guiding her into the trance. The poetic Edda describes cider, its practitioners like the vulva in V, who sees the world's beginning and end. Archaeological finds, such as a staff from a Birka grave, suggest these women held power. Their rituals, a cornerstone of Norse belief. Cider is not mere superstition, but a cultural practice, a way to navigate a world where the gods are near. They were woven into every storm and sickness. For the child's fever, Frida might use cider to seek its cause. Her trance, revealing a spirit's anger, appeased with an offering of milk poured onto the earth. The community watches, their faith in her as strong as their trust in her herbs. The ritual, a quiet act of balance. Healing and cider are not without risk, though we speak of them softly, as shadows in the firelight. Imagine a wound that festers, its heat spreading despite Frida's salves, the patient's life slipping away like water through fingers. The sagas hint at such failures. The healers limits a human truth, their grief born in silence. Cider, too, carries danger. Its practitioners, often women, might face suspicion, their power seen as unnatural by some. The Ynglinga saga tells of cider's origins with the goddess Freya, but also of its stigma, a tension that lingers in the community's whispers. These challenges, though real, are met with resilience. The healer's hut, a place of hope amid uncertainty. The community's reliance on healers shapes daily life, their presence a constant thread. Picture a warrior, his arm bandaged after a skirmish, drinking Frida's willow tea, its bitterness a small price for relief. A mother, her child recovered, offers a gift of wool, its fibers soft in Frida's hands, a token of gratitude. The healer's knowledge spreads. Two young women learn at Frida's side, their hands crushing herbs, their ears tuned to her chants. Archaeological evidence, like herb pouches in graves, suggests this knowledge was widespread, its legacy carried in every settlement. The Erbygja saga mentions healers at feasts, their skills as vital as a skald's song, their work a quiet rhythm in the Norse world. The blend of healing and cider reflects the Norse view of a connected world where body, spirit, and land are one. Imagine Frida pausing at her door, the night air cool, the stars bright above. She scatters herbs into the fire, their smoke rising as an offering, her chant a final act of care. The hut, with its herbs and charms, is a microcosm of this belief, a place where the mundane and mystical meet, their balance a comfort to those who seek her aid. You feel this harmony, the fire's warmth a gentle embrace, the chant a whisper that lingers in the dark. As you lie back, the rustle of herbs fading, feel the rhythm of this carol, rhythm of knowledge, faith, and quiet strength. The healer's art, like the ships and laws before it, is a cornerstone of the Norse world, a testament to their resilience. But the Norse were also storytellers, their myths a fire that warmed the longest nights, a legacy waiting to be explored. Let us turn now to the tales of the poetic Edda, where gods and heroes live in the words of skalds, a story of myth to guide you deeper into rest. As the healer's chant fades, its echoes lost in the quiet of the Norse night. Imagine yourself seated by a longhouse hearth, the fire's glow casting shadows on the timber walls. The year is 860, and the air is warm with the scent of burning pine and wool. The community gathered close, their faces lit by the flames. A skald, a poet of the Norse, stands before you, his voice low and rhythmic, weaving tales from the poetic Edda, the ancient myths that bind the Viking world. These stories of gods, heroes, and cosmic struggles are more than entertainment. They are the heartbeat of a people, their truths as enduring as the stars above. Tonight, we explore the poetic Edda's tales, a tapestry of myth to cradle your thoughts, its cadence a gentle lullaby guiding you deeper into rest. The poetic Edda, though written down centuries later in the 13th century, lives in the oral tradition of the Viking Age, its verses passed from skald to skald, each telling shaped by the firelight. These poems, like V and Havana, speak of creation, wisdom, and the gods' eternal dance with fate. The skald's voice is steady, its rhythm like the tide, drawing you into a world where the earth is young and the gods walk among giants and men. He seeks to fish for Jarmenheim, the serpent that encircles the world, its coils hidden beneath the waves. With the giant Hymir, Thor rows out in a boat, its hull creaking under the swell, the sea dark and restless. The skald describes the bait, an ox's head, its weight sinking the line into the deep, the water rippling as the serpent stirs. The serpent takes the bait, its jaws closing with a force that shakes the boat. Thor pulls, his muscles straining, the line taut as the serpent rises, its eyes like moons, its scales a shimmer of green and black. The skald's voice softens, not to thrill, but to evoke, describing the clash not as battle, but as a dance, a moment where god and beast meet in the balance of fate. Thor raises Mjolnir, its head forged in the fires of creation, but Hymir fearing the serpent's wrath, cuts the line, and Jarmungandr sinks back into the deep, its coils vanishing into shadow. The tale ends not with victory but with tension, a prophecy of Ragnarok, when Thor and the serpent will meet again, their struggle a thread in the world's end. We speak of this gently, the conflict a metaphor for cycles, its resolution left to the stars. This story, like all in the poetic Edda, carries the Norse worldview, a belief in a cosmos both vast and fragile. Imagine the skald pausing, his eyes on the fire, as he explains the tale's meaning. Thor's strength is the community's. His fight, a mirror of their own struggles against sea, storm, and time. The serpent encircling the world is chaos held at bay, its presence a reminder of order's fragility. You feel this connection, the longhouse rooted in the earth, the fire a spark of the same force that shaped the gods. Cattle die, kinsmen die, you yourself will die, he intones. But a good name never dies, for one who earns it. The words are simple, their truth heavy, urging honor, hospitality, and caution. The community nods, their hands resting on benches, their lives shaped by these precepts. The skald tells of Odin's sacrifice, hanging 9 nights on Yggdrasil, the world tree, to gain the runes, his suffering a gift of knowledge. The tale is somber, but we speak of it softly, the pain a distant echo, the wisdom a light that warms the night. The act of storytelling is a ritual, its setting as vital as the words. Imagine the longhouse, its air thick with the scent of smoke and mead, the crowd leaning closer, their breaths slow and even. Children sit at the edges, their eyes wide, while elders nod, their memories stirred by familiar lines. The skald uses no book, his verses alive in his mind, each telling slightly different, shaped by the mood of the night. Archaeological finds, like runstones with mythic carvings, show these tales reach, their images of Thor's hammer or Odin's ravens etched in stone. The skald scapula, part of the later prose Edda, credits skalds with preserving these myths, their voices a bridge between mortal and divine. You feel this tradition, the fire's crackle, a counterpoint to the skald's song, its rhythm a comfort in the dark. Picture the skald telling of the Norse. 3 women who weave the threads of destiny at Yggdrasil's roots, their hands shaping the lives of gods and men. Every choice, from Thor's battle to a farmer's harvest, is bound to their will, a truth the Norse accept with quiet resolve. The V foretells Ragnarok, the world's end, when fire and flood will remake the earth, a cycle as natural as the seasons. The myths also reveal the Norse sense of community, their stories a shared inheritance. Imagine a warrior, his arms scarred from a raid, finding solace in Thor's strength, or a mother, her child asleep, drawing courage from Freya's love. The poetic Edda's gods are not distant, but near, their flaws and passions a mirror of human life. The skald's tales, told at feasts or funerals, bind the community, their words a fire against the winter's cold. Archaeological evidence, like amulets of Mjolnir found in graves, shows this devotion, their weight a comfort to the living and dead. You see the skald pause, his voice falling silent, the fire's glow, a reminder of the story's enduring warmth, its tales carried beyond the Viking Age. Picture a later scribe, his quill scratching parchment, preserving these poems for a Christian world, their pagan roots still vibrant. The sagas, like Erbyggia's saga, echo Eddic themes, their heroes shaped by the same values. The myths live in modern words, Wednesday for Odin, Thursday for Thorin, in the Norse love of storytelling, a tradition as alive as the fire before you. It was a world of conflict, where warriors clashed on sacred ground, a history waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the Viking raids on Lindisfarne, a moment that shook the Christian world, a story of strife to guide you deeper into rest. As the Skald's mythic tales fade, their echoes lingering like embers in the Longhouse fire. Imagine yourself standing on the deck of a Viking longship, the sea stretching gray and endless before you. The year is 793, and the air is sharp with salt and anticipation, the horizon hiding a distant shore. You are part of a raiding party, one of many that will mark the dawn of the Viking Age, bound for Lindisfarne, a holy island off the coast of Northumbria. This raid, recorded in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, is a turning point, a moment that sent tremors through the Christian world. Tonight, we explore the raids on Lindisfarne, not with the clash of swords or the roar of battle, but with the quiet rhythm of history, a story of ambition and consequence to guide you gently toward rest. Picture the longship slicing through the North Sea, its sail taut with wind, its prow carved with a dragon's head, a silent war against the spirits of the deep. The crew, perhaps 30 men, row in unison, their oars dipping into the waves, the creak of wood blending with the sea's low hum. You stand among them, your cloak damp with spray, your hands gripping a shield of lindenwood, its surface painted with red and black spirals. The air carries the scent of tar and wet wool, and the sky above is a patchwork of clouds, their shadows racing across the water. This is no army, but a band of warriors, driven by the promise of wealth and the call of adventure, their lives bound to the ship's rhythm. Lindisfarne, known to the Norse as a place of riches, is a monastery. Its stone walls and wooden church, a beacon on the horizon. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle describes it as a sacred site, home to monks who copy manuscripts and pray, their treasures gold crosses, silver chalices gathered over generations. To the Vikings, it is a target, its isolation, a weakness, its wealth, a temptation. Imagine the long ship beaching at dawn, the hull grinding against the pebbled shore, the crew leaping into the shallows, their boots sinking into the sand. The island is quiet, the tide low, the monastery's bell tolling faintly, unaware of the shadow approaching. You feel the weight of the moment, the sea behind you, the land ahead, its stillness, a deceptive calm. The raid begins swiftly, its pace deliberate, but not frenzied. Picture the warriors moving across the island, their axes hung at their belts, their shields raised, their voices low to avoid alarm. The monastery comes into view, its stone chapel surrounded by thatched huts, the air thick with the scent of seaweed and incense. The monks, caught in morning prayer, are unprepared, their robes fluttering as they scatter. The Vikings do not seek slaughter, but plunder, their gold, the treasury, not the lives of those who pray. Yet the raid is not bloodless. Some monks resist, their courage met with force, their lives fading into the earth. A cost we speak of softly, a shadow in the morning light, not a spectacle of horror. The treasury yields its prizes, each item a marvel to the Norse. Imagine you lifting a silver chalice, its surface etched with vines, its weight heavy in your hands. Gold reliquaries, studied with garnets, gleam in the dim light, while manuscripts, their pages vibrant with ink, are overlooked, their value lost on warriors seeking metal, not words. Sacks are filled with candlesticks, brooches, and coins, their clink a rhythm of success. Some monks are taken, their hands bound, destined for ransom or servitude, their fate a quiet tragedy, their voices still as the Vikings retreat. The raid is brief. The longship loaded by midday, its hull riding low with the weight of plunder. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle laments the raid, calling it a sign of divine wrath, its words heavy with shock. The heathens ravaged God's church at Lindisfarne with plunder and slaughter. Alcuin, a scholar of the time, writes of the blood of priests shed before the altar. Though we tread lightly here, focusing on the aftermath, not the act. The monastery is left in disarray, its sanctity marred, its community fractured, yet it endures, its monks rebuilding in time. For the Norse, the raid is a triumph, the horde a spark that fuels more voyages, its success whispered in halls from Denmark to Norway. You see the longship sailing home, the sea calm, the crew's faces lit with quiet pride, their hands stained with salt and ambition. The raid's significance lies in its rhythm, a moment that marks the Viking Age's dawn. Imagine the news spreading, carried by traders and scholars, reaching jarls and farmers alike. Lindisfarne's fall shows the Christian world's vulnerability, its monasteries rich and undefended right for plunder. The annals of Ulster and Frankish records note similar raids, a wave that grows in the decades to come. For the Norse, the raid is a spark, igniting a century of exploration, trade, and conquest. Their longships, a symbol of a restless spirit. You feel this shift, standing on the deck, the horizon wide, the world opening like a saga, yet unwritten. The warriors' lives, though, are not all glory, and we speak of their burdens gently. Picture the crew, their hands blistered from war, their bodies weary from the sea's toll. Some bear wounds, their arms bandaged with linen, their pain a constant companion. The journey home is not assured. Storms or rival ships could claim the horde. The sea's whims, a test of endurance. Those taken from Lindisfarne, bound in the ship's hold, face a future of uncertainty, their lives a quiet cost of the raid's success. The sagas rarely dwell on such shadows, nor do we, but they linger, a reminder that every triumph carries a weight, its price paid in silence. The raid's legacy is etched in both Norse and Christian memory. Imagine a runestone raised years later in Sweden, its runes praising a warrior who sailed to distant shores, perhaps one who stood on Lindisfarne's sands. Archaeological finds hacked silver, reliquaries in Norse graves bear witness to the plunder, their origins an echo of the raid. For the Anglo-Saxons, Lindisfarne is a wound, its scars shaping defenses, its story a warning carved in chronicles. Yet the Norse see it as a beginning, a moment when their world expanded, their ambition unbound by the sea's edge. You see the longship fading into the mist, its sail a patch of light, its journey a thread in the Viking tapestry. The raid, though a moment of strife, is also a bridge between worlds. Picture a trader, years later, bartering Lindisfarne silver in a Byzantine market, its Christian symbols a curiosity to distant eyes. The Norse, through raids like this, weave their fate with yours, their longships carrying not just plunder, but ideas, faiths, and futures. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle marks 793 as a year of omens, but for the Vikings, it is a spark, its light spreading through sagas and stones. You feel this connection, the sea, a pathway, the raid, a quiet pivot in the rhythm of history. As you lie back, the crash of waves softening, feel the rhythm of this moment, a rhythm of ambition, consequence, and quiet change. Lindisfarne's raid is a spark in the Norse story, its embers lighting a path through time. But the Norse world was not only one of warriors and raids. It was a world of women whose strength and roles shaped every hall and hearth, a story waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the women of Norse society, whose lives wove the fabric of their world, a tale of resilience to guide you deeper into rest. As the echo of Lindisfarne's waves fades, carried away by the sea's endless rhythm, imagine yourself stepping back into the heart of a Norse settlement, where the Longhouse stands sturdy against the twilight. The year is 860, and the air is warm with the scent of baking bread and damp wool, the pulse of daily life beating softly within these timber walls. Tonight, we turn our gaze to the women of Norse society, whose strength and roles wove the fabric of their world, from the hearths of farmers to the halls of jarls. Their lives, often overshadowed by tales of warriors, are a quiet force, as vital as the roots that anchor a tree. Let this story unfold gently, its cadence a soothing hum guiding you deeper into the Viking world as you rest. Picture yourself in a longhouse, not as a warrior or jarl, but as a woman named Sigrid, a farmer's wife, your hands busy with the rhythm of work. The longhouse is alive with activity, its air thick with the aroma of stew simmering over the hearth, its light dim save for the fire's glow. You sit by a loom, the wooden frame creaking as you pass the shuttle through the warp, the woolen threads forming cloth that will warm your family or be traded in distant markets. The clatter of the loom is a steady beat, blending with the voices of your Kinyer mother grinding barley, your daughter carding wool, their presence a comfort in the crowded hall. This is your domain, the heart of the household, where your labor shapes the rhythm of survival. As a woman in Norse society, your role is central, though the sagas often linger on men's deeds. Imagine waking at dawn, the air cool, the longhouse still cloaked in shadow. You tend the fire first, coaxing embers to flame with a handful of kindling, the smoke curling upward like a prey, the livestock penned at the hall's end, low softly, and you milk the goats, their warmth a contrast to the chill of the earthen floor. Breakfast is porridge, its grains measured carefully for winter looms, and the stores must last. Your hands, rough from work, move with purpose, stirring the pot, mending a tunic, or braiding your daughter's hair, each task a thread in the tapestry of daily life. Your responsibilities extend beyond the hearth, for Norse women hold surprising agency in a world bound by honor. Picture yourself managing the household's stores, your keysire and heavy hanging at your belt, a symbol of authority. The Lockstealer saga speaks of women like Gudrun, who oversee farms, negotiate trades, and even wield legal power. If your husband is away, raiding or trading, you run the farm, directing thralls to plow fields or repair fences. Your voice, firm but calm. You barter at the market, exchanging wool for salt. Your judgment, trusted. Your presence, a quiet strength. The air carries the scent of damp earth and fish, and you feel the weight of your role, the household's survival, resting on your choices. Some women, like you, Sigrid, are freeborn, their status tied to family and land. Others hold different roles, each a thread in Norse society. Imagine a widow, Astrid, who inherits her husband's estate, her hands now guiding the plow, her voice heard at the thing, the Gragas. Iceland's later law codes confirm women's rights to inherit and manage property, a practice rooted in Viking tradition. Or picture a thrall, a woman bound by servitude, her days spent grinding grain, her life harder, her freedom a distant hope. Yet even thralls could earn manumission, their labor a path to a new role. The sagas, like Eyrbyggja saga, hint at these women's resilience, their lives a quiet undercurrent in the Norse world. Beyond the farm, women of higher status wield influence. Their roles as intricate as a skald's verse. Picture a jarl's wife, Thora, in a grand hall, her tunic embroidered with silver thread, her keys gleaming at her waist. She oversees feasts, her hands arranging platters of roasted boar, her counsel sought by her husband in matters of alliance or trade. The Heimskringla tells of women like Sigrid the Haughty, who shaped dynasties through marriage, their decisions rippling through the fjords. Thora might negotiate a betrothal, her daughter's hand a bond between clans, her words as binding as any oath. You see her by the fire, her face calm, her mind sharp, the hall's splendor a reflection of her care. Some women step beyond the hearth, their names carved in saga and stone. Imagine Aud the deep-minded, a figure from the Laxdæla saga, who led her kin to Iceland after her husband's death, her longship braving the sea, her leadership a beacon in the wilderness. Aud's story is rare, but not unique archaeological finds. Like the warrior woman's grave at Birka, suggests some women bore arms, their shields as heavy as any man's. These shield maidens, though few, are celebrated, their courage a spark in the sagas, like Lagortha, Ragnar's wife, whose prowess is sung by Skaldes. We speak of their strength softly, their battles a distant echo, their lives a testament to possibility, not a call to arms. The spiritual world, too, is shaped by women, their voices rising in ritual and song. Picture a Valva, a Cirrus, her cloak adorned with beads, her staff carved with runes, leading a cider ceremony under a starlit sky. The poetic Edda describes such women, their trances weaving fates, their chants a bridge to the gods. Women like her lead sacrifices, pouring mead for Freya, their hands steady as they honor the harvest. Even in Christian times, women maintain these roles, their influence lingering as seen in runestones raised by daughters for their kin. You feel their presence, the fires glow, a mirror of their power, their rituals, a rhythm that binds the community. The challenges of women's lives, though real, are met with quiet endurance. Imagine Sigrid, her hands aching from the wound, her nights short as she tends a sick child. Sickness, a constant threat, tests her strength. Fevers spread in the Longhouse, their spread a worry she cannot outrun. Childbirth, too, carries risk, its outcome uncertain, though midwives ease the way with herbs and skill. We speak of these trials gently, their weight a shadow, not a burden, their reality a truth softened by the community's care. The sagas, like S-Saga, honor women's resilience, their lives a balance of duty and defiance, their legacy woven into every thread of cloth and tale. Women's work extends to the cultural, their hands shaping the Norse legacy. Picture Sigrid teaching her daughter to weave the pattern spirals, not sequoing runestone art, their designs a story in themselves. Women sing lullabies, their melodies carrying myths, their voices a quiet archive of the poetic Edda. Archaeological finds, looms, needles, beads reveal their craft, their creations traded as far as Byzantium, their skill a currency of survival. The Oseberg ship burial, with its tapestries and tools, hints at a woman's hand, her art a bridge to the afterlife. You feel this creativity, the looms clatter a heartbeat, the cloth a canvas for their world. The social roles of women, though bound by custom, offer paths to influence. Imagine Sigrid at the thing, her voice raised to claim her share of a family's land, her right upheld by law. Or Thora, hosting a feast. Her hospitality, a diplomacy that averts a feud. Even thralls, like a woman named Ingrid, might gain freedom. Her labor earning a place among the free. The Gragas and Sagas show women as witnesses, landowners and mediators, their agency a quiet force. You see Sigrid pause, her keys at her belt, her gaze steady. The Longhouse, a testament to her strength, its warmth, a reflection of her care. As you lie back, the clatter of the loom fading, feel the rhythm of these livza, rhythm of resilience, creativity, and quiet power. Women in Norse society are the threads that bind the community, their roles as vital as the timbers of the Longhouse, their legacy as enduring as the sagas. But the Norse world was not eternal. Its gods and ways faced a quiet decline, a story of change waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the fall of the Norse gods, a moment when faith shifted like the tides, a tale of transition to guide you deeper into rest. As the voices of Norse women fade, their looms and hearths settling into the quiet of the Longhouse. Imagine yourself standing on a windswept hill in Scandinavia, the air cool with the promise of autumn. The year is 1000, and the Norse world, once vibrant with the tales of Odin and Thor, stands at a crossroads. The old gods, whose names echoed in sagas and sacrifices, are fading, their altars overshadowed by the toll of a new faith's bells. Tonight, we explore the fall of the Norse gods, a slow and gentle decline that reshaped a people, not with the clash of conquest, but with the quiet shift of belief. Let this story unfold softly, its rhythm like the rustle of leaves, guiding you deeper into the Viking world as you rest. Picture a small settlement, its longhouses clustered by a fjord, their turf roofs blending with the earth. At the hill's crest stands a sacred grove, its oaks ancient, their branches hung with offerings of cloth and bone. Here, the Norse once gathered to honor Freya, Thor, and Odin, pouring mead onto the soil, its sweetness a gift to the gods. But now, a wooden church rises nearby, its cross stark against the sky, its bell calling the community to new prayers. The Heimskringla, a saga of kings, tells of this transition, a time when Christianity crept into Scandinavia, its roots taking hold like ivy on stone. You feel the air shift, the scent of pine and incense mingling, a sign of a world in flux. The decline begins slowly, centuries before, with whispers from the south. Imagine traders returning from Byzantium or Francia, their ships heavy with silk and stories of a single God. They speak of Christ, of churches gleaming with gold, their tales intriguing to some, strange to others. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle notes Christian missions to Denmark as early as the 8th century, their words carried by monks like Ansgar, who built churches in Hiddeby. These efforts faltered at first, the Norse gods too deeply rooted, their stories sung in every hall. You see a farmer, his hands stained with soil, offering a prayer to Thor for rain, his faith unshaken, the old ways a comfort in the firelight. But the tide turns with kings whose power shapes belief. Picture Olaf Tryggvason, King of Norway, around 995. His cloak adorned with silver, his voice firm as he declares his faith in Christ. The Heimskringla describes his zeal, his decrees that temples be torn down, their wooden idols burned. He sails from settlement to settlement, his longship a herald of change, offering baptism or banishment. Some accept, their hands dipped in holy water, their names recorded in new books. Others resist, their offerings hidden in groves. their prayers whispered to Odin in the dark. The transition is not a battle, but a negotiation, its cost measured in quiet losses, the old ways fading like embers, not extinguished by force. The great Althing in Iceland, in the year 1000, marks a pivotal moment. Its story, told in the Imagine the Assembly, a vast gathering on a plain ringed by cliffs, the air thick with the scent of grass and wool. The law speaker, Thorgir, a man of both faiths, stands before the crowd, his cloak heavy with the weight of decision. Christians and pagans argue, their voices rising, the threat of division looming. Thorgir retreats to his tent, lying beneath firs for a day and night, seeking wisdom in silence. He emerges with a decree: Iceland will adopt Christianity, but pagans may worship in private, their rituals a shadow of the past. You feel the crowd's hush, the decision a bridge between worlds, its balance a testament to the Norse love of consensus. The shift is gradual, a blending of old and new. Picture a village, its church built beside a sacred spring, its water now blessed for Christ, not Freya. Runestones, like those in Upland, Sweden, bear crosses alongside Thor's hammer, their carvings a dialogue of faiths. The poetic Edda, though pagan in heart, is preserved by Christian scribes, its verses written on parchment, their myths a memory of a fading world. Families adapt, their children baptized, yet they name them Thorstein or Freya, the old gods living in whispers. You see a mother, her hands weaving cloth, teaching her daughter a lullaby of Yggdrasil, the world tree, its branches a quiet defiance of change. The decline is not without tension, though we speak of it softly as a ripple, not a storm. Imagine a pagan farmer, his altar hidden in a barn, facing a Christian jarl's judgment. The Heimskring law tells of violent temples burned, priests exiled, but these are rare, their impact softened by time. More often, resistance is quiet, a refusal to abandon the old ways entirely. Some face ostracism, their voices unheard at the Thing, their lives a delicate balance. The cost is personal, not bloody, a shift in identity rather than a clash of swords. We tread lightly here, the loss, a shadow, not a wound, its weight carried in the heart, not the earth. The Christian faith brings new rhythms to Norse life. Picture a church service, its wooden pews filled with farmers and thralls, their voices rising in Latin chants, unfamiliar but soothing. The church offers charity, its stores feeding the hungry, its priests recording births and deaths. Yet the old gods linger, their stories told by firesides, their symbols carved in secret. Archaeological finds amulets of Milnir beside crosses. Graves with both pagan and Christian rites show this syncretism, a blending that eases the transition. The Erbegia saga describes families honoring both Christ and Thor, their altars side by side, their faith a tapestry of old and new. The fall of the Norse gods is less a fall than a transformation, their power fading into myth. Imagine a skald, now old, his voice weaker but still clear, reciting V to a smaller crowd, their faces lit by a Christian candle, the god sodden with his wisdom. Thor, with his hammer, becomes stories, their strength a memory, their lessons enduring. The prose Edda, written by Snorri Sturluson in the 13th century, preserves their tales, a bridge to the past. You feel this shift, standing on the hill, the grove now quiet, the church's bell, a new rhythm, its toll, a gentle call to a different world. The decline reshapes Norse society, its laws and rituals adapting. Picture a wedding, once sealed with offerings to Freya, now blessed by a priest, yet the bride wears a pendant of the old goddess, its weight a comfort. the thing continues. Its laws now tinged with Christian values. Its gatherings a blend of tradition and change. The Graga's laws of Iceland, though later, reflect this shift. Their rules for charity and marriage echoing the new faith. The Norse, ever practical, weave Christianity into their lives. Their resilience, a quiet strength, their world remade but not erased. As you lie back, the bells toll fading. Feel the rhythm of this changer, rhythm of adaptation, memory, and quiet endurance. The fall of the Norse gods is not an end, but a turning. Their stories carried forward, their echoes as soft as the wind through the grove. But the Norse were not only a people of faith, they were navigators, their eyes fixed on the stars, a story of precision waiting to be told. Let us turn now to Norse navigation and starlight, where the heavens guided their ships, a tale of wonder to guide you deeper into rest. As the toll of the Christian bell fades, its echo lost in the quiet of a changing Norse world. Imagine yourself standing on the deck of a longship, the sea stretching dark and endless beneath a sky pricked with stars. The year is 860, and you are a Viking navigator, your eyes fixed on the heavens, your hands steady on the rudder. The Norse were masters of the sea, their journeys guided not by maps but by the stars, the sun, and the subtle signs of the natural world. Tonight, we explore the art of Norse navigation and starlight, a story of precision and wonder, its rhythm as gentle as the waves, guiding you deeper into rest. Picture the longship, its sail furled for the night, its hull rocking softly on the swell. The crew sleeps, their cloaks wrapped tight, but you remain awake, your gaze tracing the constellations above. The Norse called the sky a great dome, its stars fixed points in a vast tapestry, their names tied to gods and myths. The poetic Edda speaks of stars as sparks from Muspelheim, the realm of fire, their light a gift to guide the lost. You know them by names like the wagon, a cluster we call the Big Dipper, its shape pointing to the North Star, a beacon for sailors. The star, steady and unyielding, is your anchor, its position a silent map in the dark. You feel the ship beneath you, its timbers creaking, the sea a cradle that carries you forward. Navigation begins with the stars, but it is not their light alone that guides you. Imagine the sun's arc, low on the horizon in these northern waters, its path a clock for the day. On clear days, you use a wooden sunboard, a simple disc notched with markings, held to measure the sun's height at noon. This tool, found in archaeological digs like those at Hidaby, tells you your latitude, a quiet marvel of Norse ingenuity. If clouds hide the sun, you turn to the wind, its direction felt on your cheek, its patterns learned through years at sea. The air carries the scent of distant land pine or seaweed, a whisper of shores unseen. You stand at the helm, your hands steady, the ship's rhythm a part of you, its course a dance with the elements. The sea itself offers clues, its signs as vital as the stars. Picture the waves, their swell rolling from the west, a pattern you've learned to read like a skald's verse. Seabirds, their wings flashing white, signal land nearby, their cries a faint echo in the wind. Whales, their backs breaching the surface, mark shallow waters, their presence a guide to coastal routes. The Landamobak, a later Icelandic text, hints at such knowledge, describing navigators who followed birds to new lands. You watch a gull circle, its path a thread to the shore, and adjust the rudder, the wood smooth under your palm, the ship turning with a soft groan. Some sagas speak of a sunstone, a crystal said to find the sun's light in fog or cloud. Imagine holding a piece of Icelandic spar, its surface cool and translucent, catching the light in a way that reveals the sun's position, even through mist. Scholars debate its use, but finds like a crystal at a Viking shipwreck near Alderney suggests truth behind the tape. You test it, tilting the stone, watching its glow shift, a quiet wonder that steadies your course. The sunstone, if real, is a bridge between science and myth, its light a reminder of the Norse love for the natural world, their navigation a blend of skill and reverence. The tools of navigation are simple, yet their mastery is profound. Picture a wooden compass, not magnetic, but marked with directions, its carvings worn by use. A sounding lead, a weight tied to a rope, measures the sea's depth, its end smeared with tallow to catch traces of the seabed sand or gravel a clue to your position. You lower the lead, the rope slipping through your fingers, the weight sinking into the dark. Its return a quiet reassurance, the sea's secrets shared in silence. The navigator's knowledge is learned through years, its lessons passed from father to son, mother to daughter. Imagine a young sailor, barely grown, standing beside you, his eyes on the stars, learning their names, Frigg's distaff, Odin's eye. You teach him to watch the horizon, to feel the winds shift, to trust the ship's rhythm. Archaeological evidence ship remains at Gokstad. Runestones depicting voyages shows the reach of these journeys. From Greenland to the Volga, you feel this legacy, the stars a map, the sea a story, their patterns a guide through the night. The dangers of navigation, though real, are spoken of softly as shadows in the starlight. Imagine a storm, its clouds swallowing the sky, the ship tossed like a leaf. You grip the rudder, your cloak soaked, the crew bailing water with steady hands. Some voyages end in loss, ships claimed by the sea, their crews a whisper in the waves. The sagas mourn them quietly, their names carved on runestones, their stories a warning to those who sail. We tread lightly here, the peril a distant truth, the sea's wrath a challenge met with courage, not despair. You steer through the storm, the North Star reappearing, its light a promise of safe harbor. The stars guide not only ships, but the Norse calendar, their movements a rhythm for life. Picture a settlement, its people watching the sky to mark planting or harvest, their festivals tied to the solstice. The Ynglinga saga hints at this, describing rituals under starry skies, their timing set by celestial paths. You see a farmer, his hands stained with soil, looking to the wagon to time his sowing, the stars a silent partner in his toil. This connection between sky and earth binds the Norse to their world, their navigation a reflection of their harmony with nature. The art of navigation is a legacy, its skills shaping the Viking Age. Imagine a trader in Byzantium, his ship guided by the same stars you watch, his goods a link to distant lands, or an explorer like Leif Erikson reaching Vinland, his course set by the sun's arc. Archaeological finds, sun compasses, shipwrecks confirm this prowess, their simplicity a testament to Norse skill. You feel this mastery, standing on the deck, the stars above, the sea below, their rhythm a lullaby that carries you forward, a journey without end. As you lie back, the lapping of waves fading, feel the rhythm of this arda, rhythm of precision, wonder, and quiet connection. The stars, the sea, the ship, they are the Norse world's compass, guiding a people through time. But the Norse were also a people of celebration. Their festivals a fire in the winter's dark, a story of joy waiting to be told. Let us turn now to the feasts of Yule. where the Norse gathered to honor the season, a tale of warmth to guide you deeper into rest.